From WKRG Plus, your local election headquarters, this is Politics with Pete.
Welcome, everyone, as we talk about the upcoming city council race in Mobile in District 1. I'm joined right now by the incumbent in the race, Corey Penn. Corey, nice to see you.
Nice seeing you as well, Peter.
Thank you for coming in. Let's talk a little bit about District 1. We've got a new map this year, and District 1 has shifted a little bit. Tell us about the neighborhoods that you will be representing if you win in this next four-year cycle.
Yes, we expanded to now we have 30,000 residents in District 1. And so that area goes to, we usually stopped at Imogene Street. And so now we picked up from Imogene Street to Airport Boulevard, as well as some of Pleasant Valley and Cottage Hill.
Yeah, so we're talking about places like parts of Tolmanville, Trinity Gardens, correct?
So that's already was a part of District 1. So Tolmanville, the Trinity Gardens community, the Crying community, Midtown, and then we go west to I-65 all the way to University Boulevard.
Yeah, you got a section kind of along Moffett Road.
That's correct.
As well, so it's an interesting district. All right, you've been in for a four-year term at this point. Tell me about that experience. What's been unexpected, looking from the outside and then getting in there, and what it's been like serving for almost 4 years now?
Yeah, it's truly been an amazing opportunity to serve District 1. I started as a teacher in the community as well as a student pastor, and so to be able to serve at this capacity has been an honor. A lot of great things have taken place in District 1, and some things is working with my colleagues because you needed 5 votes to pass, so you need a supermajority, but we still was able to get a lot accomplished in District 1 by creating the Tolmanville community plan that we have in place right now that's on the City of Mobile website, and a large project on Highway 45 right now. It's a $3 million project, sidewalks on both sides, curve and gutter, and repaving the street. So I'm excited about bringing that walkability. And then we have 3 demonstrating parks in District 1. The only 3 parks that's like that in the City of Mobile. One of the parks, Mill Street, is if any kid have any type of physical challenge, it's a park even for wheelchair accessibility. We don't have any other park like that in the district. And that means a lot to me because I was a special needs teacher and worked in that community. And so to provide a park for our kids, for everyone to have that opportunity to play, mean a lot.
Yeah, and you wear a lot of different hats, or you have, right?
Yeah.
You've been a teacher, a minister. Talk about those experiences in the community and how that's helped you be a better representative for the area.
Yeah, it made me value my community because I started at Chastain Middle School in the Trinity Garden community. And so now my students can vote. And so they had the opportunity to see me move up as well. They say, Mr. Penn, now you're representing us now as a council member, but to see the challenges that they faced when they was in school and have that type of relationship put me in the position now. I know the needs of the community. I know the resources that need to be provided. And so I'm so grateful for those opportunities as a teacher as well as a student pastor, because Right Way is also located in District 1.
Tell us about growing up. You went to LaFleur High School, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Graduated from LaFleur High School. I met my wife in 9th grade. She graduated as well. And of course, now we have 2 beautiful kids. She grew up on Donna Street, right across the street from LaFleur. And LaFleur actually changed my life because they gave me the opportunity to serve in student government. I was the SGA president my 12th grade year, and they gave me the opportunity to see other elected leaders. And at that time, I made the decision that one day I would like to come back and serve in that capacity. I didn't know it was going to happen, but I'm grateful for my leadership that gave me the opportunity, and now I'm grateful for the constituents that voted me in.
And then you went on to college, HBCU. Talk about that experience and how that helped you for a leadership role.
That's correct. I graduated from Stillman College in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and just meeting people from all over the world was amazing and taught me the opportunity to use collaboration to get things accomplished. And that's my goal right here, being in this position in District 1, is to work with others from all over the community, all over the city, all over the state. Let's figure out how to move Mobile forward, how to move District 1 forward, and let's do it together.
All right, well, let's talk about maybe some of the areas in District 1 and what you'd like to see happen if you get another 4 years in office. What, for example, let's take Tolmanville. What do you want to see happen there? What's on the plan?
So new housing. That's a major piece. We was able to get a lot of things accomplished in Thomasville. We're working on our plan. We got a 191-page document, but we want to make sure that we have better housing in that community, as well as making sure that we bring more business back to the Thomasville community. I think that's a major part of it. And when we do that, we'll see the growth. LaFleur has a new school, and I think we're in the right direction, and we just have to continue that. How
about Trinity Gardens and into Crichton, some of the same struggles and challenges, I'm assuming?
Yes, similar situations that we want to bring housing. We want to make sure that they have the business side. In the Trinity Gardens community, it's considered a food desert. So we're looking to create gardens, in community gardens in that particular community, and make sure those residents have the resources they needed. But in our Midtown area and some in our Thomasville, we're having some issues with infrastructure. Mm-hmm. And so that was the reason why we put $1 million this year to focus on drainage and infrastructure. So going forward, that's my ultimate goal as well, to work on the infrastructure in District 1. We have parts of the oldest parts in the city of Mobile. And so we want to make sure that we get our infrastructure taken care of.
Yeah, we have the penny sales tax that we use for infrastructure, and it gets divided up a lot of different ways, but each city council member kind of gets an equal amount. And some people say, well, we need to look at this differently. We've got to tackle where our problems are, maybe in some of the older parts of town that you represent. Are you content with the system, or do you think more needs to be focused on some of these older areas?
I think we have to have that conversation. I think when you look at from particular east of the city of Mobile, it's the oldest part. So they need more help. We have pipes that are still wooden. That's a part of it. And so I think that's the biggest piece, is making sure that we're taking care of the oldest parts. And so we have to find out ways to bring funds into the oldest parts of our city.
Yeah, it's a challenge, isn't it? Because we're an old city, and the upkeep just takes a lot of effort and a lot of purposeful effort, right?
That's correct. And many of our parks are also on the east side. So you have certain districts that might only have one park, where in other districts we have 12, 30, yeah. So, and we still have the same amount of CIP funds.
Yeah. It's as being a city council person, I know you got to focus on your district, but you got to focus on the city at large as well.
That's correct.
And the city faces a lot of challenges, and what we hear about a lot, of course, is crime and public safety.
Yes.
What's your outlook on where we stand? Are we doing a good enough job? Where can we improve?
I think we have to provide more programming opportunity for our young people. That's my background, of course, and I know that when we give our community the resources they needed, they can thrive. And so that's my ultimate goal. I was a part of a lot of those youth programs. I was part of YWCA. I was diagnosed with a speech impediment when I was younger, but because at the YWCA, they gave me speech therapy at an early age. We need more programs like that, and they provided financial literacy. They provided other opportunities, and that encouraged me to be the leader I am today. I believe we have to put more funding into prevention before a situation take place.
And it seems like a lot of these programs, though, on all levels are kind of getting chipped away at. Do you see that? And obviously you see that as a problem, if that's the case.
Yes, that's a challenge. We need to make sure that we provide funding for those type of programs so they can be successful, so they can work with our young people, so we don't have to build more prisons where we actually building more people.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we have enough officers? Is that one?
So one of the things that right now, from what I'm hearing, is that hopefully at the end of the year, we'll be fully staffed for the first time in a long time, in years, that we have enough officers. And that says a lot. That says about the leadership, that says about the leadership on the council and working with the administration and just seeing different things take place. And so I'm glad to hear about that.
Do you favor more neighborhood patrolling? You hear a lot of people say, I never see a policeman coming down my street at all. Would you like to see police be more visible, let's say?
Yeah, I think they're on that right now. They're knocking on doors. I had that conversation with our leadership on the police office, the MPD, and I suggest that. And now they're knocking on doors, walking around in the community, and because I support that. I believe that our residents should know the name of our officers. That creates a relationship, it creates a connection, and it creates trust. And I think they're now seeing that as well, and they're working to get back, even playing basketball games and being actively engaged with our young people.
Let's talk a little bit about the population of Mobile. We annexed recently. brought our population back up, but we've been losing people over the last couple of decades, especially to Baldwin County.
Yes.
Why do you think that is primarily, and what can be done about it?
I think housing is a major part of it. When you look at my particular district, we have a lot of older homes. And so I think we have to make sure we provide adequate housing so people, because they want to live in newer homes. That's why they go to Baldwin County or they go to certain other communities. So we have to work on housing. I think that's a major piece. Of course, safety, you want to make public safety is the first thing. You know, people really want to feel safe in that community. I feel safe. We had some challenges this past 2-3 months, but I think that Mobile is a safe place. We just have to put programs and things in place to continue that and make people understand the resources that we already have as well in the city of Mobile.
What should the city's relationship be with our school system and our school board, and how big of a factor is that in losing people out of the area, whether it's reality or perception of our school system?
I think people also need to know the great things that are taking place in our school. I think that's the thing. We have signature academies at all our high schools. Most of our leaders graduated, like myself, from a public high school, and they're doing an amazing job. Sometimes we hear these stories, but they don't hear the success stories. And I think we just need to tell our story better. And that's the same with the school system as well as the city of Mobile. I think we have to learn to tell our story better and then partner with the school system in any fashion that's possible. So have those relationships. And that's what I'm doing too. I'm talking to our school board leaders that represent my district. I'm talking to the principals in my school, in my district. Even though I have no authority, we have to build those relationships so we can be successful.
How about blight? That's another thing I'm hearing a lot about during this campaign. Just, vacant areas, abandoned homes. What can we do to, eliminate or maybe make that situation just a little bit better?
That's a big challenge, and I was talking about it earlier today about housing, and blight is a part of that problem. And what I believe that we need to create some programs in place. A lot of the housing is owned by families, multiple people name on the property. I think we need to I saw some other programs in other cities where they go in a particular community and then they talk to the family members, get a will in place, get one name for the house, get a lawyer to come in and assist with those families and properties, and then from there talk about how can we assist with revamping and that area. And I think if we do that, we'll see major change.
Does litter go along with that? I mean, a lot of people think, well, litter, that's not a big deal, but others say, it ties into blight and the whole psychological situation, in a community that leads to crime and other things.
I think litter is a major part of it. My kids, my son, matter of fact, we were walking and in the community, and he loves science. And he said, Dad, I'm gonna create a robot to clean this trash up. He understands at an early age, he hates seeing it. Yeah. So it's a major part of it. My daughter actually started a cleanup day where she goes around and clean up the community. I think that's a major part of it. We have to have a clean community. And when I was younger, we had Keep Mobile Beautiful, and they started back being very apart, but I think they need more funds to have the resources. That's talking about programming, right? And that piece, they educated young people about the importance of keeping their community clean. I remember that as a kid, Keep Mobile Beautiful, and I think we should bring that back as well and make sure that they have the funding and resources to do all the things they were doing when I was a kid.
Last question for you. We have an open mayoral race this year. First one in 20 years. We haven't had an incumbent. What do you think of the 4 candidates and how you might be able to work with any of those 4 should they become mayor? So
for me, whoever the mayor is, my job is to make sure my district get the resources they need. And that's my ultimate goal. And so whoever the city, the residents elect to be the mayor, I will work with them to make sure that District 1 has the resources they need to be successful.
All right, Corey Penn, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break and be right back. And we're back now with more on Mobile City Council District 1. We just heard from Corey Penn, the incumbent. We're welcomed now by Herman Thomas, who is Penn's only opponent in this race, just the 2 of you, so someone will be a winner on August 26th. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing these days.
Well, for the last 4 years, I've been working primarily with a couple of nonprofits, and a lot of that's been focusing in on District 1. The Tourneville and Crichton Community Development Corporation. We're a 501c3, and for the last 4 years, we've been providing a food pantry. And for 3 years, we actually serve 350 families every week. For the last year, we've been doing it monthly, so we're only serving 244 families. So I'm very proud of that endeavor we started, and we've been able to maintain that. And to get volunteers to come every Wednesday for 3 years is kind of a task, but we have a group of committed volunteers. I'm very, very proud of that fact. And also working with the Friends of the Pritchett Public Library. We reopened the Pritchett Library, and after COVID, they had some financial problems, so we formed the Friends of the Pritchett Public Library, and for the last 5 or 6 years, we have actually helped them to maintain the library, and we provide the internet, the fax, and the phone service, and the maintenance of the building for the library. And it's the only place in that area where you can have public access to the internet and to the computers. So I've been trying to provide some good public service, and I want to continue that as the representative for District 1 for the City of Mobile on the City Council.
All right, so when you're out in District 1 working with these nonprofits, you're seeing a lot of folks in need, aren't you?
Yes.
And tell me, what specifically, what are the biggest needs for the people who live in District 1?
Well, I think the best way to answer that is to divide the district into the precincts, because there are different needs. In the Trinity Garden area, there's a need for the project to finish closing the ditches. There's a lot of open ditches in Trinity Garden, and that's a safety and a health issue. So I want to try to fill that need, because that needs to be done. In the Tomerville-Crichton area, there's an issue with some of the homes. There's a lot of homes that are in need of repair, and so the neighborhood overall is going down. So we need to do some things to try to improve the homes and the blight and some of the litter that's in that area. In the Midtown area, I think flooding is still a problem. So we need to deal with some of the flooding issues in the Midtown. In the Boterra Moffett Road area, I think there's an issue as relates to recreation for there's a lot of young people in that area with kids, but there's no designated park or recreation area. And then as a new area to the district, this for the first time, we will have 6 precincts instead of 5. So I'm in the process of walking that area and talking to people and trying to figure out what their concerns are, because I think the needs need to be established by the residents. And each particular precinct, the neighborhood, there are some similarities, but there are some differences.
Yeah, and that's new this year, District 1. We have a new map for the entire city of Mobile. Yes. So some people may have been in another district and now would be in District 1.
Yeah, the 6th precinct and the voting precinct is 3 Circle Church. So all the residents who normally vote at 3 Circle Church, the last election, they actually voted in another district. So this will be their first time voting in District 1.
Okay. How about, you brought up Trinity Gardens and the open ditches there and the infrastructure really in the older parts of town, of which that includes much of District 1. How do we tackle such a big, expensive task? I
think the first thing we do, we have to prioritize. We can't do everything immediately, but I think we have to identify what the problems are, identify funds and resources to deal with the problem, and then attack it. I think one of the things I would like to do, District 1 is one of the districts that we do not have a TIF district. And I think if we had a TIF district, that would make a difference, because if the TIF district is established by the City Council, then those funds that are raised in that particular geographical district based upon tax revenues that exceeds the amount after you establish the district can be used for a particular purpose. So once we establish a TIF district in District 1, they have one in District 2 and in District 3, and we need one in District 1.
Where would you like to see it in District 1?
Well, I think, again, it would be a community effort. I would try to get with as many community organizations as possible and then come up with the best area that will be served by the TIF district. Now, one of the things we have to do, because by statute, we only a certain percentage of Mobile can be called a TIF district. It's a larger percentage in some of the other cities in Huntsville and in Montgomery and Birmingham, so we'd have to get the legislature to expand it so we can have a decent sized TIF district in District 1. And those funds can be earmarked for infrastructure, they can be earmarked for economic development, they can be earmarked for affordable homes, they can be earmarked for parks and recreation. When we establish the TIF district, we establish the purpose for which those funds will be used.
You know, a lot of people think about a TIF district, and it's been mostly used around the country for downtown revitalization, but you'd like to see it expanded to more neighborhoods. Well,
the one downtown, I think, is about 25 years in age, but there's one in District 3, and so we want to do something similar to what they've done in District 2 and in District 3. But traditionally, that is true, has been more in the downtown areas of town, but they have expanded it, and we've had one in Mobile for over 25 years.
Let's keep talking about infrastructure a little bit. It's an important issue for folks. And we have our penny sales tax, our CIP, and it gets kind of divided out in different ways. Do you think that kind of that even proportionment needs to go in favor of a more, let's tackle our bigger issues wherever they might be in town?
Well, I think the best way to answer that is with the new mayor and the new city council. I think we need to sit down and do some strategic planning for the city and then come up with a plan. Things have changed, and what may have worked well in the past may or may not work well in the future, but I think we need to be given an opportunity for the new council to kind of get together and discuss things and to collectively try to do things for the betterment of the entire city. So I would like to see the new mayor and the new council sit down and have a frank discussion and do some strong strategic planning.
How about parks in your district? What are the needs for the various parks in District 1?
Well, parks there are some parts of the district that does not have a park. And as I indicated, in the Botier area, I think we need to do a designated area in a park in that area. In the other parts of the districts, we do have some parks. We have some issues with some of the parks. I think I serve on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, and I've done that for the last 2.5 years. So, and we are nationally certified, one of the few parks and recreation for a municipality that's nationally certified. So I'm very familiar with the Parks and Recreation department, and I think do an outstanding job with the number of parks that we have. But we do have some flooding issues in some of the parks. We have some maintenance issues in some of the parks, and I think recently there was some concerns concerning the cameras and security. So I think there are some, we have wonderful parks, but there's room for improvement.
How about schools in District 1, and what should maybe the role of the city be in working with the schools, both financially and otherwise?
Well, I think the city should play a major role in assisting the schools. Now, they have their own governing body, so I'm not saying the city should tell the school board what to do or vice versa, but we do understand the importance that the school system plays in our community. It's the largest employer in the county. It provides our young people with an opportunity to succeed in life. So I think the city council and the city should play a major role in supporting the schools, working with each individual schools in the districts, and try to assist them in their goals and objectives and meeting the mission of serving all the students. So I will play a major role in actually having contact with the principals and the PTA and the local school board representatives to do whatever I can to assist them in their endeavor of their mission to serve our young people.
How about the physical quality of the schools in District 1? I know, for example, LaFleur just got a big makeover over the summer. Are there some individual schools that you think need some work on their facilities in your district?
Well, I'm very proud of the addition to LaFleur High School. I did not graduate from LaFleur, but I graduated from Thomasville, so I'm a Rattler and Rattler for life. So Rattler Nation is very proud of the new addition to the school. I think there are some needs at Washington Middle School, which is the middle school primarily in the district, and then we have Holloway School also in the district. Now Spencer West Lawn is in the district, along with O'Shell Road Magnet School and Sidney Phillips Magnet School. So we have some schools that are doing well, but we have some schools with some particular needs. And I think, again, I would like to meet with the principals and the PTA to kind of see what are your needs as relates to the physical plant and what are your needs as relates to materials, supplies, curriculum, and things of that nature.
You know, in this election, we're hearing a lot from citizens about crime and their concerns about crime. What are your thoughts about what needs to be done to tackle the gun violence citywide and in particular maybe in District 1?
Well, I think when you're talking about crime, I like to divide it into 3 areas. The first area, we got to deal with those that are currently in the system. We can't build our way out of the system, but we got to make sure that we are doing something to deal with the people in the system, and the system is functioning in a timely and a proper manner. Then I think we got to deal with those that are on the cuffs before they get into the system, those that are either out of high school and high school that are trying to, before they make that bad decision, we need to have resources and programs available to them. I'm not an educator, but I've talked to a good number of educators, and they will tell me that in elementary school they can identify some young students who maybe are prone to be involved in crime, maybe the 3rd, 4th, or the 5th grade. So I would like to see us play a major role in the development of those students in elementary school, because if we can't stop some young people But I think if we make a joint effort to try to do whatever we can to deal with those elementary school students that potentially have been identified by the administration of that particular school and give them the extra resources they need, I think we can solve a great deal of the problem dealing with youth violence or crime if we work with our young people at a very early age. And I think that's part of the role of the city and the community to work in conjunction with the school system.
Do you think we have enough officers in Mobile, and are we deploying them in the right way?
Well, I think we can always use additional officers. I don't think we're at the minimum standard as far as the average number that's recommended. And I think we can do more community policing and some other things. Again, I think the mayor and the city council will work with whoever there's appointed police chief and to try to come up with a program that best works for Mobile. I don't think we can't do what other cities are doing. We have to do what's best for Mobile, and we have to come up with a plan of action for the city of Mobile.
What do you hear from folks about affordable housing? That seems to be a big issue, and what's being done in District 1, what needs to be done in District 1 as far as that goes? Well,
there is an issue within District 1, and I think if you look at District 1, there's a shift in the population, and a lot of young people want a traditional type home, 2 garage and things of that nature. So we need more affordable homes and new construction in District 1. I think you will see there's been a shift in population, and as indicated earlier, there's some issues as it relates to homes in desperate need of repairs. And I think a TIF district would also help, because some of the funds and the funds for TIF in the other districts has been used to tackle the issue of affordable housing. So I think a TIF district is one of the answers to affordable housing in District 1.
There are a couple of places, I think both are in District 1. I might be wrong about this, but the old GAF plant, for example, is that's maybe close to your, and the other I think of Roger Williams, when I'm thinking of big open spaces that maybe could be developed into some places for housing.
Well, Roger Williams is a beautiful piece of land that is on 3 Mile Creek. Is actually in District 2.
Okay.
With the new line, St. Stephen's Road is the dividing line. So Roger Williams' property is in District 2 as well as Josephine Allen. And then the other housing communities are in District 3. The GFF plan, I think you're talking about over on Florida Street, that is the new part of District 1,
yeah.
And that is a nice piece of property, and some things could be done there, and it's kind of centrally located, easy access to the interstate, to the mall in West Mobile. So that's a perfect place, I think, to maybe possibly do some development.
Okay. Let me ask you what you think about the plans for the new Civic Center, and is that going to meet the needs of the community?
I've not seen the actual plans. Obviously I know about it, and the construction is going on, but the dimensions or the floor plans I'm not that familiar with, so I would love to receive more information about that. I'm hoping that it will, but I can't comment on the actual design and as it relates to the layout of the floor plan.
Okay. Africatown is in District 2, but it's a citywide issue as to how much to promote that area for tourism and to bring people in to hear the story about the Clotilda and the folks of Africatown. You'd be supportive of those measures?
Well, I think Africatown may be in District 2, but Africatown is a treasure for this entire city, state, and country. So I would do everything in my position to promote Africatown. I think it's an opportunity to promote Mobile. I think it's an opportunity to increase revenue. I think it's an opportunity to tell an important part of our history.
All right, and very quickly, our last question, we've got the new airport coming in. You think that's going to be good for Mobile in that new location?
Well, I'm excited about the new airport. I live in District 1, and with traffic, it may take me 45 minutes to get from my home in District 1 to the airport. The new airport will be very convenient for me and for the people of District 1. So I'm excited about the new airport, and I think it will mean a lot for this area, and I think we would give a little bit more competition to Pensacola.
All right, sounds good. We're out of time. Herman, good luck. Herman Thomas running against Corey Penn, City Council District 1. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time.